Well, the Adam Project goes for a wide variety of elements, including sci-fi action, comedy, and drama, but does it hit each of those targets effectively, or is it spreading itself a little too thin? Stick around and I'll share my thoughts. I'm Peter Franson from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. This is my uncut review of The Adam Project. The synopsis on IMDb reads, a time-traveling pilot teams up with his younger self and his late father to come to terms with his past while saving the future. Okay, so what does this thing feel like? Let's talk about the story, the script, the pacing, the tone, that kind of stuff. I would describe it as an action sci-fi dramedy. The tone is fairly light in the action scenes, but often takes time to give emotional weight to family drama and strained relationships between people who really do love each other. It pretty evenly alternates, I think, between action, comedy, and touching family drama. It explores multiple family relationships, primarily father and son deeper in, but also effectively explores mothers and sons and husbands and wives a bit. That seems spread thin and unfocused on paper, but I was moved surprisingly nearly every time they explored and gave weight to those emotional moments. It's not a heady time travel movie or a heady sci-fi movie. They present the basic rules of time travel early on, which is really important to do, I think, but they also leave a lot unexplained. People that are kind of out of time will dematerialize upon their death, and there's just like one line given to that concept that I almost missed, so they're content to just kind of let you be along for the ride and not understand everything, how everything works. Like most time travel stories, time travel here is the plot device to explore regrets and gain perspective and explore what ifs and things like that. And so I'm able to accept it on those terms and enjoy it for that. The villain isn't super interesting to me in The Adam Project. I would have liked more exploration of her character, but she effectively serves the function of embodying the problem that the heroes need to solve. In the climax of the movie, they kick in what sounded like an 80s rock tune that just sucked all tension from my experience just when I wanted it the most. It felt like a Guardians of the Galaxy type moment that they were maybe going for, and it just made it like, oh, okay, I guess we're just having fun and acting our plan and everything's going to go well. Now, not everything did go well, and they did get a little bit tense eventually, but it was a significant blow to my experience to yank the tension out from under me at the climax of the movie. But I would say that the overall tone of The Adam Project was a great mix of moods that carried me right along as I think they intended to. Now, as far as the cast goes, Ryan Reynolds is at the center of this movie, I think. He gets a chance to put both his comedic and dramatic skills to work. I often find his comedic delivery falls flat for me in other movies. Some of that depends on how he's written, but especially when he's playing a smart aleck. But I tend to not connect with or find smart aleck characters funny, and he often plays that kind of character. But even though he was kind of a smart aleck in this movie as well, he got more chuckles from me than usual and pulled me into some of the most emotional moments with his performance and the layers that it added to the written dialogue. So I really appreciated both his comedic delivery and his dramatic performing in this movie. The rest of the cast features great performers who handle both drama and comedy well, both prior to this movie and I think in this one as well. Mark Ruffalo is great yet again as this warm, loving yet flawed, vulnerable type of character in playing Adam's dad. Jennifer Garner brings her great vulnerability to playing Adam's mom, and Zoe Saldana is strong even in her relatively few scenes. Walker Scobell, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is the child actor playing young Adam. This can be, child actors, especially that a movie is really anchored on, as this one is to a significant degree. That can be a real risk for me, especially if they're written to be over-empowered, more intelligent, or confident than is typical of their age. Then it starts to feel like a kids movie where it's like a fantasy for kids. You know, when in kids movies, kids want to feel empowered, and so they want to see the adults being buffoons, and the kids are like way more capable, way more intelligent, way more skilled than they would be in real life. That's kind of like what I think of as the kids movie template. And this one does not go full on into that. It dips into it just a little bit now and then in a way that I wasn't thrilled with, but I felt like even though this character, the young Adam, played again by Walker Scobell, is written to be more witty, more capable, and more emotionally strong than I think is very realistic for his age, he is also vulnerable in his performance and flawed much of the time. And his performance had some great nuance and little details that make him stand out to me as a performer to watch as he continues to get older. I don't know that he's on that Dakota Fanning level of skill and talent. I don't know that the script really gave him the opportunity to demonstrate that, you know, that kind of level of acting, but maybe we'll see. You know, he quickly grew on me, and I'm going to be interested to see, you know, what he does in the future. As far as stunts and visuals go, right, this is a sci-fi action movie, so how does it hold up on that front? It's not a full-on action movie. As I said, it spends time with comedy, spends time with drama, but it has plenty of action. It's not, it's not stingy with the action. There's a good amount of it, and I think it pulls it off solidly without setting any new standards in fight choreography or visual effects and things like that. But most of the visuals are of the flashy sci-fi variety that don't demand realism either, and so the sci-fi action visuals I found to be plentiful and fun enough to watch. However, in the last 20 to 30 minutes, there is a de-aged character that really, I don't think, got the quality treatment that we've come to expect from Marvel movies, who have nearly mastered this effect, or have certainly gotten increasingly more capable in carrying it out. Instead, in this case, I was jarringly taken out of the movie whenever this character was on screen in their de-aged state, as my cursed CGI detecting eyes saw them like a video game character walking around at a live-action movie. So that was kind of a bummer. Okay, so as far as themes, you know, is there anything of moral, philosophical, or spiritual significance going on in the themes of this thing that might trigger some worthwhile thought or conversation? As I said, this movie explores regret and multiple kinds of family relationships, but it especially focuses on fathers and sons, I think, and the perspective that one can gain or even lose on their own parents as they look back on their childhood from the vantage point of adulthood. In one moment of the Adam Project, it made me just like silently resolve to give more time and energy to my boys, even when I'm tired. It was a great moment. It wasn't prolonged, but I was just like, yeah, Peter, you need to remember to do that. That, like, even though you're tired at the end of the day, don't be so selfish with that time and with that energy, but see what you have left in the tank that you can give to a boy that's still up and still available, you know. And there was another moment in the movie that was powerfully bolstered by performances from Ryan Reynolds and Mark Ruffalo that expressed the love that a father has for his child and just how impossible it is to truly convey it enough that child is going to feel it as much as we do. Really, yeah, I mean, moved me to tears. Movies can explore all kinds of interesting philosophical topics and moral issues, but when a movie can spur me on to be a better dad, that's something I consider very, very special. And I found that to be a really special part of my experience watching The Adam Project. Now, I have no idea what your tastes are in movies, but if I, like Adam, were also a time traveler, I would go back in time and say, Peter, watch this one. You're going to watch it with your boys. They're going to love it right along with you. They'll see you tear up, and they'll be reminded silently in those moments that you love them, even as you all get to watch a movie full of energy weapons and time travel and action. It's probably not going to be a movie that you watch more than once, but that one time with your boys will be absolutely worth it. So don't miss this one. It's rated PG-13 for violence, action, language, and suggestive references. And those are all my thoughts for now on the Atom Project. I would love to get your thoughts and reactions in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, and click that bell to stay connected and help us move forward into our summer of insanity. I want to thank the Spirit Blade Insiders for making this review possible. You can get info about the benefits of joining over at patreon.com/spiritbladeproductions. Then, of course, as always, I hope you'll check out our podcast and stay connected to all CGC content over at christiangeekcentral.com as we continue to geek out and seek the truth. Summer in insanity.
Liberate butter.